Hi, everyone. Thanks for having us. Excited to be here today. And for those of you who don't know, we are Embr Labs, and we make this Embr Wave, which is an intelligent wristband that hacks the way you feel temperature. So we use patented thermal waveforms to make you feel more comfortable overall just by heating and cooling this one spot. And come find us after to try it, because it's definitely an experience product. But what we're here primarily to talk about today is our journey to get the product from a student project at MIT to Kickstarter, and then really why we decided to bring in a full-time CEO, and kind of Liz's experience joining a startup and kind of integrating. So that might have some lessons for some of you guys who are thinking about that. So yeah. So we started, like this woman in this slide, in an over-air-conditioned lab in the summer of 2013 at MIT. Many of you might work in this office or know people who do, but we were in a lab and had to put on sweatshirts to stay comfortable. And we thought, this just doesn't make sense. We're in a space as large as this, it's empty most of the day, and yet they're cooling it like it's a refrigerator to the point where we're uncomfortable. So we said, man, what if we could just heat and cool ourselves directly? Then we would be comfortable in this space. Maybe the building could even save energy. It just seemed like a better opportunity. So we built this first prototype that summer. I know it's beautiful. We ended up winning this contest with it in October 2013. And what happened was the idea went totally viral. Wired ended up writing this story saying we could make air conditioning obsolete, which we could not do and still can't do, but it was a great headline. And what happened really from the media attention was we started getting emails from thousands of people all over the world saying, when can I buy this? You know, temperature is the biggest problem in my life. My office is freezing, my husband and I disagree about the thermostat, I have a medical condition, I'm just never comfortable. And we were really moved by these folks' stories. We said, hey, if we can help them, then that's an opportunity worth pursuing. And we said, we're going to start a company, and we're going to launch on Kickstarter, and we're going to deliver these devices to people, and then this thing's going to be everywhere and ubiquitous, and the future's going to be everyone experiencing temperature in a new way. And that was really our vision. And at the time, we thought, you know, it'll probably take 6 months to get that device to a commercial product. And of course, it actually took 4 years, and we learned a lot along the way. But this is the final product that we launched. Again, it's a wrist device. You control it either directly on the device with the light bar or with the Embr Wave mobile app. And we've shown with researchers at UC Berkeley that it can make you feel as if a room is 5 degrees more comfortable when you are too hot or too cold. The magic behind Embr Wave and why we were able to make a personalized heating cooling device where others had failed is the patented thermal waveform. So rather than warm or cool to a constant level, what we do is we do it in waves. We have pulses of warmth or cold, and those are really magical for kind of 2 main reasons. One, it lets you make a device this small because it reduces the power consumption. But 2, and more importantly, it creates a better experience for you, the user, because we naturally adapt to temperature. If you think about the shower you took this morning, when you first got in is when the water felt the hottest, and after a couple minutes, you're turning up the dial. Not necessarily because the water temperature's decreased, but because it feels less hot subjectively. And we've really spent the last 5 years understanding the subjective experience of temperature in the way in which your thermoreceptors, the nerve endings on your skin, your brain are really very different than what a thermometer is measuring. And we've discovered how to engineer around that using these waveforms. So we also have the Embr Wave mobile app, which is really exciting because it lets you not only control the device, but you can set different waveforms. So you can set different frequencies and different amplitudes. And what we've heard from our customers is that different waveforms give you different experiences and are used in different times of day. So we have a quick 5-minute mode that's really designed for, I'm uncomfortable, I'm waiting for the subway, I want something now. We have a 30-minute extended mode that lets you, that's great for in a meeting or you're at a coffee shop that's too cold. And then we're actually getting ready later this month to launch a falling asleep mode that we've been beta testing right now. And that came from hearing from customers, hey, I'm using this to fall asleep, can you make something for that? And what's kind of unique about the falling asleep mode is the frequency of the waves slows down over the course of the 35-minute session just in the same way your breathing rate's supposed to slow as you're falling asleep. So if you just breathe along with the waves, you'll kind of naturally get into that relaxation state. So these are some of the things we've been working on. And really what we found out from customers this past year after finishing a Kickstarter in October 2017 where we did $630,000 in sales on a $100,000 goal, and then delivering those units this past March of 2018, is that our customers were using this for more than just heating and cooling. They were using this for sleep. They were using this for stress. They were using this for anxiety. And what we kept hearing is, temperature just makes me feel better. And we really learned that there's this opportunity for thermal wellness, for letting people use temperature as a part of an overall wellness routine to feel better physically and emotionally. And we said, man, this is really what we want the company to be about. We really believe in this deeply. We spent 4 years learning about this. But, again, our vision was launch a Kickstarter, deliver units, and then sometime in the future, everyone has this in some way. But we didn't really know how to get from, we delivered units to we are entering and serving all these markets. And so that was really when we looked around at the founding team and talked with our board and said, hey, what the right thing for our company is to bring in an outside CEO. So we worked with an executive recruiter in Boston, interviewed 20-something candidates, and Liz was really the winner. And she's done an amazing job coming up to speed and really kind of leading the company to our next phase of growth. So I'll let her talk about what that experience is like and what she learned, and hopefully some lessons will come out for you guys.
Do you want to talk a little bit about this before we?
Yeah, this is just kind of, again, a summary of our time. So we did a student project at MIT, a contest in October 2013 was when we won it. We thought it was going to be 6 months, and it ended up being about 4 years to launch the product. Did iterative prototyping, designed the final product, that took a year, went into manufacturing, that took a year, and then really last year was the first year we were on the market, available at embrlabs.com, and through that process over the first half of 2018, we realized that to get to the next stage of growth, we really needed to bring in an experienced business leader.
So you can imagine when you get a phone call from a headhunter, and you look at the profile of these guys, the first thing you think is, what's wrong? Right, so you've got, PhD, 2 material scientists from MIT, you've got 2 Forbes 30 under 30, you've got an incredible marketing guy from an agency, and so I thought, okay, why do they want me? Is it because I'm a perimenopausal woman and I'm having hot flashes, or am I a talented CEO? So, of course, I went into the whole experience thinking, okay, when am I going to start unearthing the bodies, right? So, open the financials, look at the books. Everything was okay. Do you have patents? Oh, yes, they have several utility patents, design patents. Okay, that seems okay. Well, is there any mental illness in the management team? There's got to be. Is there mold in the building? I've just learned that one. So, I looked at the situation, and I didn't unearth any bodies, but what I did sense was what I would call founder fatigue. So I noticed very quickly that it had been a really long 4 years. It was a slog for these guys. They had been not making a full market salary during this whole time, really sacrificing their own lifestyle to build a company. And so what I recognized is we needed to see if we were still all on the same page about what the vision of this company was, and whether each founder could still see themselves in that big vision. And so the first thing I did was took the founding team off site, and I said, Sam, Jake, Matt, David, are we still in the business of thermal comfort? And they said, no. What we're learning is we're in the business of thermal wellness, and we are going to carve out a slice of that $4.2 trillion in the wellness space and own it. And through that process, each founder was able to see how they fit into the big picture and get re-energized around and have that creative tension again that was, I think, missing at that time. And by getting that creative tension back on board with the founders, they could in turn work with their direct reports to create a shared vision and goal setting. So we set a big, audacious goal. You've heard about that, which is we wanted to achieve 1 million moments of thermal delight per week by the end of 2021. And this is now driving everything we do. So from the features we launched, to what we measure in the app, to the data science we're putting in place, to the patents that we're filing. And you can see we're on track to do that. And I think with some of the work we're doing with Johnson & Johnson to alleviate hot flashes and promote healthy sleep, and some of our other corporate partners, and bringing even more users on board, we will make it happen. What we've learned along the way is it takes a village in addition to the founding team. So everyone you see here, including Charlie the dog, is part of the process. So you see families and wives and husbands that support us along the way. I think being a founder myself in past life gave me the perspective to really honor what David, Matt, and Sam put together, and not step in front of them, but sit behind them and let them take the front seat and let me support them. Thank you.
Happy to take questions.
Just one question from me. I mean, obviously, the one question in the wearable space is the consolidation of different tasks and features into one device, specifically the Apple Watch. How do you guys think about this?
Yeah, so we kind of saw that trend pretty early on, and we also knew that what we were working on was so out there that the only way we would potentially be even in the conversation around consolidation would be if we first launched a standalone product to demonstrate the market. And then we'd say, great, like you could today get a different watch band and wear your Apple Watch on the top and Embr Wave on the bottom. But we really realized that to show people that there's a need for a temperature product, you need to make something. And, you know, we only had the resources to make a standalone thing because it turns out hardware is hard.
Awesome presentation, really innovative concept. My question pertains to one of the previous slides. How do you define a thermal delight?
Yeah, that's just one session. So anytime I use the product, whether it's a 5-minute mode or a 30-minute mode or a sleep mode, we're counting that as one kind of session of thermal delight or thermal intervention.
Thank you.
Can you say something about what we know from our current users and their usage?
Sure, yeah. So, you know, one thing that was interesting for us is we really, again, thought that people would be using this when they're too hot or too cold, and especially in offices, but we're really seeing kind of round-the-day usage. So, for example, we have a lot of customers who are using it to help with hot flashes or night sweats, and we were able to see through the app that about 10% of the time people were using it last year was actually in the middle of the night, and so that helped led to the development of a sleep mode.
Oops, sorry. Yeah, just a quick question about trying to detect hypothermia, and for first responders, I guess in bad cold weather conditions, that could be a problem. Is that something you're pursuing?
That's not something that we're able to do, but we actually met with a startup this morning that does something just like that. So we should talk afterwards, and we'll give you that referral.
I'm interested in how the heat functions. Like if you're very cold all the time, how it just, you using it on your wrist could help your whole body feel warm, or is it just heating up your wrist?
It's heating up your wrist, but this is a dense concentration of thermoreceptors, and so those thermoreceptors travel to the brain and work with different parts of your brain to kind of hack your body. And we know through the validation with UC Berkeley that it can make you feel actually 5 degrees warmer or 5 degrees cooler, depending on what you're activating. So it's a brain hack. Well, actually, that great question. Well, you're gonna love this because I'm freezing all the time. That research was done with only 3 minutes of activation of the device. So you can imagine if you use it longer, and we do have kind of an extreme heat mode, that the sensation can be more concentrated.
Hi. So you said that you'd launched on Kickstarter. Now, I wasn't clear. Like, did you go through like an accelerator? Did you raise before that, or was it like, was there a launch budget to get to the 600,000 in sales, or was it purely off the back of PR?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it was a total kind of, so we first won the student contest in October 2013. Then we did an accelerator at MIT the summer 2014. Then we won a contest from Intel. Then we ended up getting an investment from Intel. Then we raised some friends and family money. We didn't really raise a true round until 2016. And then in 2017, we raised another round. So it was 2 years of like really bootstrapping, and then started to get enough traction to actually attract some investment to design a product and bring it to market. For the Kickstarter, it was in the tens of thousands. Yeah, nothing crazy.
All right, that's a wrap for this. Thank you so much.
Come see us for demos if you're curious.